The newspaper starts us off this morning. It says 644 drivers arrested for driving with expired documents. Top 10 accident-prone spots in Accra named, and Volta region most efficient rice-producing region in Ghana, according to a report. 4,913 fire outbreaks killed, 21 injured, and 61. 21 killed and 61 injured, 61 between January and October this year. Ghana National Fire Service Parliament adopts modifications made to 2022 budget. The Daily Guide this morning, MFFAWAG Lords Gepa for coconut cashew promotion, and also KGL Group celebrates Otum for a pillar of peace. Ofuswampo for planned harm on others. MPs adopt 2022 budget alterations. Stalemate on e-levy. Lands Minister pledges climate change action. Police chase one more in Shatawale case. The BNFT soybeans processors lament over losing industry to Indians. Local rice producers want tax hikes on foreign rice. We were talking about it a second ago, right? E-levy too insignificant to close deficit gap. Find better ways. That's what Setekwe is talking about. The Ghanaian Times, High Commissioner meets Ho MCE over burial of slain Zambian woman who is 22. One teacher, one laptop, Bruha. 3 teacher unions demand laptops for members by December 31. The monies have been deducted, by the way. Insist on paying 30% of the cost. Ghana implementing strategic programs to combat climate change, according to the Lands Minister. We remain opposed to e-levy. Minority states' position on 2022 budget modification. The Daily Graphic, massive afforestation program underway. Jenapo, can we track and trace the trees we planted about 5 months ago that cost us 12 million, and what the trees are now and how well they're doing? Then we can talk about massive afforestation. ECOWAS reopens land borders on January 1. We can feed nation if resourced award winners, and Parliament accept revised 2022 budget. It's been modified and accepted, but the e-levy remains unaccepted. Edem Agbana is the Deputy National Youth Organizer of the NDC. He joins me here with Mr. George AEC. He is the National Communications Director of the National Disaster Management Organization. Gentlemen, welcome. Good morning. How are you doing?
We're good.
Mr. George, nice smoke.
It's been a while.
Yeah, nice smoke.
Yeah.
How's Nadbo doing?
Nadmo is good. Our ID cards are in.
Oh, congratulations. Congratulations. At least you have a scorecard to show. Yeah. Courtesy my advocacy. So sometimes when we point you in the direction, you must go.
No, it's the biting is hard and deep, but it's for our common good, all of us as a people and the nation. So we will not begrudge you on that. Right. It's part of the editorial policy of a station that is to guide the nation to trudge the right course. And so, we may disagree, but it doesn't mean what you're doing is not right. So keep up the good work.
I hear you. Yeah. And for those who don't know, up until now, NADMO staff did not have ID cards, including Mr. George. You see, my very good friend, who is National Communications Director. Now, I had to take on. I've been on this beat for 3 years. Today, he's telling me the ID cards are in. So, you see, consistency. We will not stop talking. We will not stop asking. We will keep asking until you do the right thing. We will force you to play correct. Adam, how are you?
Johnny, I'm great. I mean, it's been a while, and I'm happy to be back on set.
George, let's begin from your quarters. So modifications have been made to the 2022 budget.
Yeah.
One of the key things that was mentioned was a 10 million Ghana cedis tidal waves, coastal development, feasibility study thing for the phase 2 of the Blekusu Sea Defense project. You should be a happy man from where you sit at NADMO.
Yeah.
Shouldn't you?
Yeah, I should. But we need to have more. Good morning to you. Good morning to, and welcome to my junior brother, the handsome Edem Agbana.
Just them sugar.
Yes, you. Good morning to our viewers. Johnny, you know today is the birthday of His Excellency, the former president. President John Kofi Ajekum.
True.
He turns 83 today.
True.
Yeah, statesman.
You know, I emceed his 81st birthday.
Yeah.
That's what people don't know.
Yeah. He's a statesman, you know. And yes, we wish him happy birthday. May he continue to be a fountain of knowledge and wisdom that we all tap and drink from. God bless you many more years of joy and happiness with the nation and your family, Mr. President.
Right.
Yeah. Two things.
And may we continue to take his advice. He advised us. If we are taking the advice.
We are with you, my brother. Yes. Before I touch on the what you raised, one, let me talk a little about the laptops, the teacher's laptop. One, it is coming from the teachers.
We'll discuss
that.
So,
yes, but I'm just giving you some information that tomorrow.
We'll discuss that. Let's talk tidal
No,
waves.
Because you talked about deduction from their salaries and all that. There's the professional development allowance for teachers. That's what is to be used for this. So that is one thing. And then two, NAPCO. Is it that all of them have not been paid or a section? Because I listened to Dr. Anyas when he was here. Some people had challenges.
So you are responding to the issues from Johnny's Bite?
Yes.
Okay.
No, just to
So somebody sent me a message.
Somebody
sent me a message. Says, Uncle Johnny, please, good morning. And kindly speak for NAPCO trainees. Hunger is killing us. And they don't want to pay us our September and October stipends. Why is Dr. Anyas and Ken Oforiatta treating us in this manner? It is not easy. If the permanency promise of the president at Radio BAR in Sunyani can't come on again, but our small stipends too, do they want to take it? Why are they treating us this way? Would they treat their own children this way? It's hard. Please speak out for us. We beg you, please. This was sent to me at 7:27 a.m. right now. I can share the number with you.
And you've even tackled that, so yeah, that's good. Issue of the tidal waves, and I'm grateful the Minister for Finance has decided to touch on that, and I must commend the minority too for bringing it up forcefully, that it wasn't directly addressed in the budget, because we had just experienced something like that. And so if nothing is done about it, it doesn't show like we are interested in their challenges and welfare. And being a listening government, the finance minister took it on board and decided that immediately he's going to commit about 10 million Ghana cedis to feasibility and engineering studies along all the 540-kilometer coastal line, and then specifically zoom in on the 149-kilometer Aflao to Pram, coastal line, because there's challenges within this enclave. Yes, so some have made the argument that there are some feasibility studies. The Blekusu project had started and got into a point, and yes,
phase one
yes, phase one.
2015.
But yes, I was on a program with an environmental expert, and he said something which was so interesting.
What did he say?
And he said that if we want to just fall back on the already done feasibilities and what it means is that you will solve that particular problem and it will emerge at another end. So he is for the holistic exercise, okay, and so that when it is solved, that we know the challenges and the actual solutions to bring to bear on it. And I commend the finance minister on that. Some are also saying, why not even push the money cut back from certain places so that we can just go on with the project? Johnny, there's argument also that has been made that you may think it is just sea defense and you go and do it, and that cannot contain the kind of tidal waves that is going to come. You get it? And so it may be that you may even need a port or a different kind of project that can really hold back the sea. Okay, so the feasibility and engineering studies is that what we need, and we will urge them to do it fast, so that if the report comes in the course of the year, Johnny, you know that we can have budgets, supplementary budgets, taken to the House.
Budgets,
yes,
yeah.
taken to the House for the House to approve, so that the project can even begin maybe before the end of the year. It's possible because of the intensity and severity that it's having on the people of Keta, Anglon, and the K2 South Enclave. So I think I commend government. And then the other four things, the Japan issues, the Aker Energy, benchmark values, and the e-levy. The e-levy, it's where it is, but the minister is still engaging stakeholders, including the minority. I'm happy we've decided to do that. I commend the finance minister again for trying to engage extensively with people, because a lot of people were not happy, especially the minority, and we need to engage them to either understand that there's the need to hold on, or we need to bring it down a little, so that I've heard some people say it should be 0.25 and others. So let's continue to engage.
There should not be e-levy
E-levy at all. But whatever it is, we need to, run a country. We have a country to run. We need to raise resources. Looking at our debt profile, it will not be too good to continue to pile up debts the way it is, so that we will be crippled. Right, so let's look at alternative sources, especially now that the digital platform is so active. Paragraph 309 of the budget said the platforms in the whole world in 2016, activities were worth over $11.5 trillion dollars, and it's projected to reach 23 trillion by 2025. So it tells you it's very active. Okay, and Ghana alone had over 89 billion last year activities. So what it means is that it's roping in certain people who otherwise wouldn't be paying tax for the businesses they run online. Yes, let's continue to engage, and then do whatever we can to help the poor. A threshold has been given so that the poor will be safe, and others who are actually doing business will also pay the tax that they need to pay.
I hear you. Thank you very much, Danny. So the Energy Minister, Dr. Matthew Poku-Prempeh, had made certain statements. I want to juxtapose that with the modifications that have been made, and whether or not there's real commitment to the people of Ketu South, Keta, and Angoka. We would want to get into that. But let me pick your initial thoughts about this modification that's been done. A promise was made earlier this year. There was no budget line. The MP spoke about it, those affected particularly. And now there's some line in it, assurance. What do you say?
Johnny, let me say good morning to our viewers, and also to remind you that exactly a year today, 8 Ghanaians lost their lives because they decided to demand for accountability and transparency during the elections. A year on, not a single person has been sanctioned for those heinous crimes. We all saw the videos where military men, armed military men, openly shooting at unarmed citizens. 8 people died. It's been a year and not even a statement from President Akufo-Addo on this particular issue. That shows the height of insensitivity. I am particularly disappointed because you have a president who will run to issue statements when there is a minor earthquake in other countries. There was a building collapse in France. In less than 30 minutes, President Akufo-Addo was among the first group of world leaders to issue statements to sympathize with the people of France. But in his own backyard, his own country, as Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, a year on, 8 Ghanaians were shot, killed, for no crime, except that they were demanding transparency in ballot accounting. And President Akufo-Addo has not said a single word or made any statement regarding these people.
The first Deputy Speaker
simply because
said that
I will get to that. Simply because he was the biggest beneficiary of those crimes.
He doesn't organize elections.
He is the biggest beneficiary because he is the ultimate winner, or the one that was announced as the winner of the election.
But how is that related?
He is the commander-in-chief of the Ghana Armed Forces. He is the only person in this country who receives daily security briefings from the national security. And so if for 12 good months, a whole year, President Akufo-Addo has failed to mention or made any statement, even when he appeared before Parliament, on this particular issue of 8 Ghanaians losing their lives, it tells you that he's not concerned. Because he's the biggest beneficiary of that, he has decided not to say anything about it.
The police say they are investigating.
For me, as a year ago, today, I can say is one of the saddest days, the lowest moments in our democracy. Again, you mentioned police investigations.
Right.
What has been the outcome? Johnny, how long should it take the Ghana Police Service to unravel men who were in uniform?
Let's talk about the tidal
The
waves.
Ghana Armed Forces.
Let's refer to George.
Those who
he wanted to raise another issue. I said no.
Yeah, so, no. These are just my initial comments.
So you have made your point.
Yes. But Johnny, I think
midway. Sorry, I stopped him midway just to be fair to him, so that people don't say I am biased. Because when he started, I stopped him midway and I read. You have at least commiserated.
I mean, he used his time to wish President Kufuor happy birthday. Okay. I'm using mine to remind Ghanaians that 8 people died. President Kufuor, I have huge respect for him.
I'm saying that you were one of the people who were not too happy that the finance minister didn't talk about the people in Ketu South, Keta, and Angnoga. You also mentioned that the president has not visited them, has not breathed a word about it. But now there's 10 million for feasibility studies, and hopefully the second phase of the Sea Defense project will start. What do you say?
Johnny, let me begin by saying that by their utterances and their actions, it is clear, crystal clear, that President Akufo-Addo and his government, the finance minister and all those in cabinet, have no regard for the people of the Volta region, especially on this issue of the tidal wave.
Really?
Yes, Johnny. Let me begin. Look, Johnny, when this issue happened, you saw the lackadaisical attitude of even NADMO in responding to the people of Keta and its surroundings. And don't forget, this is not the first time. A couple of months ago, there was one at Agaveji, and we saw how the Honorable Member of Parliament for Ketu South, the Honorable Ablaji Faguma, she cried out for help. On this program, I was on your show. NADMO took days before they responded, and people were displaced. Now, President John Dramani Mahama and other citizens decided to help the people by making donations. Right after that, we have members of the Akufo-Addo cabinet, Napo, for example, making statements that if the finance minister makes any attempt to make a budgetary allocation to address that issue in Keta or Volta region, the coastal areas that were affected by that tidal wave, he was going to lead a demonstration against that act. That is a person who sits as cabinet. If this issue was of prime importance to the Akufo-Addo government, these issues would have been discussed at cabinet, because budgetary or preparing of the budget takes several steps, and they even have retreats prior to the reading of the budget. So it is because he was aware that the government is not committed to putting or making any budgetary allocation to this issue of tidal wave that happened in the Volta region. That is why he was confident enough to make those statements.
Let's refer to him. Please play an approach. Hold on.
I wish you would allow me land and then you play his tape.
So, no, I want us to put it in context, because, you know, I want to be sure what he said, how he said it, and then we can understand the context you're coming from. So, Danny, please play the video quickly. It's about 30, 40 seconds video.
Steve, I didn't see the first in anywhere. I didn't see it. The two opposition were catching baby say that one bell. Sabe fa kita see defense issue. Kumasi flood into issue. The finance minister made mistake. not the shame. Miss Melly did Kumasi for on a demonstration.
Now, would that be fair?
He who comes to the equity table must come with clearance. A government has brought a fair and a rational budget. Why should you hold the gospel to ransom? Some stronghold of a share budget in 16. I didn't see the defense in anywhere. I didn't see it. The two opposition will catch a baby say that one bell. Sabe fa kita see defense issue. Kumasi flood into issue. The finance minister gave mistake. Not the shame. Miss Melly did Kumasi for on a demonstration.
So that's the Honorable Dr. Matthew Puku-Prempeh. He's energy minister, he's a cabinet minister. That's why he spoke on Asempa FM in Accra. And then three things. He says, one, in 2016, he didn't see it in the budget. You were in power in 2016. He said, you in opposition cannot dictate to them what must be done because they have brought a fair budget. And that he didn't see Kumasi flooding in the budget. So how dare you say that your stronghold should be featured in the budget? These, for me, are the things I teased out. Now, let's place it in context.
Johnny, it gets very annoying and hopeless listening to a cabinet minister makes these reckless statements. Because one, our decisions of allocation, decisions that affect welfare of the Ghanaian citizens made on whose stronghold it is. If it was an issue of strongholds, President John Dramani Mahama and the NDC would not have renovated the Kumasi airport. We would not have invested so much in education, market, and all of those things in Ashanti region. Why? Because we believe that development, every region deserves to benefit from the national cake. You make rational decisions based on what the development needs are. And so it is completely irresponsible and reckless.
He says you had power.
I will address that issue. Very reckless.
What did you do with power?
Now, when the NDC was in power, don't forget that development is a process, not an event. The Ketasi Defense Project, the NDC was committed to it, budgetary allocations were made, and phase 1 of the project was completed under the NDC government. Now, because it was a process, you came into power, and with this kind of lame thinking, with this kind of myopic thinking of a cabinet minister.
Slow down.
Very myopic.
Slow down.
Very myopic.
Slow down. Now, I think
for a cabinet minister.
No,
I'm not going for his person. I'm not saying that. I'm saying his thinking is myopic. Because it's myopic for a cabinet minister to think that because Volta region is a stronghold of the NDC, when the NDC is not in power, Volta region does not deserve development. This morning in the news, it is being reported that the Volta region is the most efficient region in the production of rice. Does the Volta region stop the production of rice when NDC is out of power? Should Klenomadi, Avalavi, Aveime, and all these places in the Volta region that people are investing so much in producing rice for us to get local rice to eat, should they say they will stop production because NDC is not in power? And so for a cabinet minister to make these reckless statements, I think that we deserve better.
Now you have
back to the issue.
Now you have 10 million. The finance minister has dared him.
Now
you have 10 million.
Now back to the issue of the allocation, Johnny. It is also instructive to note that for the first time in the history of this country, a group of people were affected by a natural disaster, and the first response from members of the government was that they were engaged in blame game, to the extent that even fake, you see, they were trying to prove a point, to the extent that they had to go for a fake picture and display it to lie to the people that it is because of sun winning.
Afenyo has apologized.
Very good on his part. But I am talking about the fact that beyond him as the person who apologized that he was misled, there are members of this government that went to the extent of using that picture and continuously blame the people of the Volta region. Johnny, when the June 3rd disaster happened in this country, the flood, that claimed many lives, and the NDC was in power, who does not know that it is the building on waterways and many other things that contributed to that flooding? But the John Mahama and the NDC administration took responsibility and responded. And that is what responsible leaders do. Responsible leaders Do not blame victims of an accident.
You have 10 million. The
The
finance
10
minister
million.
has dared.
Now let me say,
has dared
Johnny,
Napo.
Johnny, let me tell you that this 10 million that they have allocated and attributing it to feasibility studies. Several feasibility studies have been done on the project. Phase 1 has been completed, and you are going to spend another 10 million. Beyond that, let me also say that this 10 million that they have decided to allocate, it is only because the finance minister and the government are aware that the NDC minority in parliament, and let me congratulate the Honorable Haruna Idrisu and his team, they gave conditions on which they will accept the budget. Now, this 10 million is not out of a commitment by the president, but it's only because they are trying so hard to meet the conditions that the minority has given them. Because don't forget that the budget goes through 3 stages of approval. The approval of the policy statement, which we have already this rancor all about, is just insignificant. You know, when they get to the committee level to debate the appropriation and the estimate, that is where the job is. And knowing that we have the strength of numbers in parliament, they decided that if they are demanding for a Japa to be scrapped so that our family members will not benefit from a collateralized or the collateralization of our mineral resources, if they are demanding for allocations to be made for the Volta region and the Keta Sea Defense Project, let's put it in there.
Well,
but
the finance minister said,
and so now they have done that.
Broadly consulting.
No,
and so this is a baby of the consultation that was done.
No, so what stages did the budget go to before the presentation? And why was the initial resistance to including this very important issue in the budget, even though they made statements prior to the reading of the budget that that was going to be catered for? So when you look at their attitude, their utterance, and their actions towards all of this, clearly they have no regard, no respect for the people of the Volta region. And this is just to meet a condition that the minority is, and they deserve no applause for it. I'm telling you, that is the truth. I've given you reasons why.
George, should we be looking, I mean, listening to Napo and Edem now, should we not be looking at the bigger Ghana vision of saying that this is the Ghana plan? NDC comes to power, we don't care how many people you decide to bring on as presidential staffers, as agency heads, as ministers, as whatever it is. This is the direction Ghana wants to go, the Ghana dream. NPP comes to power, this is the direction we want to go. And we have had Nkrumah's 7-year development plan. At some point, we had a 10-year development plan. Now, Professor Nimue Thompson and his team gave us a 40-year development plan. We said it was too long. We had to break it into segments of 10. Where are we now?
Thank you. The bigger Ghana plan is what we need to push, and that is what this government is pushing. What the manifestos do is the way we are going to approach that bigger plan. You get it? So the MPP puts this manifesto down. This is the way we're going to tackle it. The NDC does say the National Development Planning Commission, okay, is there, and it continues to do assessment and churn out other, ways to
do the parties
tackle these
do the
things.
Parties formulate or put together their manifestos based on the thinking that the National Development Planning Commission has? Because I know that when Nimue Thompson and his team finished their development plan, they resigned en bloc, which is how come Professor Ade and his team got in as well. Now, what is their plan, for example, regarding protection of our coastal areas? And how are you both fitting or plugging into that plan? That's what I'm asking.
Good. If we're not looking at it, the Honorable Osafo Mafu wouldn't say the 40 is too low and we need to segment them. You get it? It means they've taken a look at it. And definitely when you put your manifesto there, development issues, you look at it, and then before you even do that, definitely in the research stages, you take the National Development Planning Commission's documents and then, look at the direction of the nation vis-a-vis what you want to do. Definitely that is done. And then the Keta Sea Defense issue. I'm happy, you wanted my brother to accept the fact that even if it wasn't incorporated at the initial stages, whether coercive or not, is been taken on board, and that is important. The Honorable Matthew Opoku Prempeh, one of the smartest, intelligent ministers that we have, very bold.
Do you agree with his statement? The statement he made?
You see, sometimes I thought that statement was emotional. You get it? I thought, yes, because the people from the northern sector will also look at the Polugu Dam. Okay, because the spillage of the Bagri Dam, and it gives headache to everybody in the 5 northern regions. So was it incorporated directly? This year in the 2022 budget, are we allocating about $1 billion to it?
Okay, you gave us a timeline for the Polugu Dam.
So, no,
you yourself have not finished the Polugu Dam.
Yes, I'm bringing this in because of the nationalistic approach you want us to take it. Okay, and so if he says the Pololo, is it Pelele River in Kumasi overflows and gives problems to people, and so if they bring the Keta thing, yes, that's a problem and cool, but the exigencies is also very important.
But he said,
okay,
you in opposition cannot dictate to me.
No,
do you think that was a fair comment?
He's a cabinet minister, but he's not the finance minister.
But see, he gives us a certain reflection that you in opposition cannot dictate to me. It gives me a saying to.
No, he has said that, but is that what the government has done?
Well,
no, because the finance minister knows we need to engage.
But
looking at the numbers in Parliament,
George,
you cannot have your way all the time.
If we will equate that to what President Akufo-Addo told Togbe Fiti, and said, is he the one to tell my minister to go and activate the schools? It gives me a certain same tone.
Oh, no.
That you are in opposition. You can't dictate me. You are a chief. You don't have what it takes to dictate me.
Look, it's factual that the opposition, that's what they say, they will have their say. But the majority will have his way. But do we have that clear majority? We don't. Ghanaian people say, think together and work together. Right. Okay?
Are you doing that?
Yes, the finance minister is shown clear that he's taking that on board. Okay, so the energy minister, senior cabinet minister says, look, if you do this because they are in opposition, so and so, but the finance minister, government in totality think, no, let's all go it this way. Okay, it is an exigent issue. We cannot gloss over that. Let's look at it and see how we can bring some relief to the people, even though the construction service is not taking off in 2022 budget. It may, because you can bring another this thing in Parliament, as I said. But whatever it is, I thought Napoku was a bit emotional. You get it, and so let's leave it. Fortunately, the government has decided to bring that on board. Let's see how we're able to help the people.
Let's quickly.
And as you said, I'm excited and happy. Me and my people at NADBO because it's going to give us some
credibility and breathing space.
Breathing space a little. You get it. And so we pray that the feasibility and engineering work is done, and then we move on to complete that side to the Keta.
I'll give you a bite. Let's it's about
continuation.
Right. It's about 6-7 minutes. So let me split it. Or you want to have a bite on this one?
I wanted to just give.
But I take a section to the words that my brother was using. They were too harsh. You told
they were too harsh.
Yes.
Compared to Napo's irresponsible and reckless comments.
A cabinet minister.
No, I said he's
un-Ghanaian.
It is myopic on his part to think that way. So it is Ghanaian for him to insult the people of the Volta region that way.
That's what you went to learn in Italy.
It is Ghanaian. Is it Ghanaian value for him to insult the people of the Volta region that way? I stand by every single word that Napo's statements were reckless, irresponsible, and myopic thinking of a cabinet minister. Wow. Johnny, there is nothing to jubilate about the 10 million.
Why?
Are you aware that for the past 3 years, the Akufo-Addo government have been paying a certain gentleman as the chief executive officer of the Keta port? And when you go to Keta, there is only a structure in a resemblance of a kiosk, of a lotto kiosk that is there. But somebody receives salary every month as the CEO of the Keta port.
Are you sure?
I'm telling you, go and investigate.
There's a CEO.
There is a CEO was appointed, a non-existent Keta port. I went there myself. I have pictures and videos here. I can show you. and yet somebody is being paid. And so when they say they are allocating 10 million,
there's a CEO.
A CEO for Keta Port has been appointed for 3 good years for a non-existent port. If you like, go to Keta. The last time I went, I met with lots of young people, including one, Philip Abochi and co. They will lead you to the place. The structure there, it resembles a lotto kiosk. And this government makes a 10 million
port is likely to be built.
Likely to be built by CEO was appointed 3 years ago.
That's why I'm saying.
Likely to be built. This is the government we are talking about.
But this is a very serious. Hold on. But this is a very serious thing has said that somebody has not done any work but is being paid as CEO of the Keta Port that is not there. Why is the person being paid?
You know something. There's a proverb in Akan: a house is built in the room. Okay, before you get to start to put up, you might have done a lot of work in there. Okay, so when you come out, people see the superstructure because you have done the work inside. You remember when the budget, is it the supplementary budget?
Right.
Was read about this Agenda 111. My brother. No. I know there's a certain CEO.
There's a CEO.
Yes. Don't worry. When that was done, my brother, former Speaker of the UCC Parliament, Akando, had said that a certain 600 had been, used and all that, and the government came out to say no. The finance ministry came out to say no. It's the feasibility
the official bill for that anyway.
Yes, the
works. So Akando's words stand because you have not been able to bring data to.
So these things are done, and if there's a team that is working on the Keta Port to get
but see, George,
become
my
a reality, that's another issue. But if he
that
has a reservation about the functioning of that office, that's another matter.
But that is what he's raising.
That's important to get the groundwork done for it to take off.
So let's say, George.
So if a team is working on it,
so let's say, George. No, he is talking specifically about
the director,
Dr. Eduse, right?
Yeah, Alexander Eduse.
Now being paid for doing no work at Keta. Let me.
No, if the work hasn't started, doesn't mean he's doing no work.
Let me place my question.
You have a bite, so you take it.
No, I'm not biting. I'm asking a question. Now you are the CEO of a company. The company is now being built, but you're already being paid for performing no function as a CEO.
How do you know he's performing?
Nothing is even being done there, Johnny.
Because before the port begins, there would have been engagements, raising funds, the designs, everything. So some people must be doing
is he the contractor? Is he the one who's contractor?
No. Before you do that and then get a contract, even getting contractors to come and begin the building. Of the port.
I don't get it.
It may even be sometimes, yes, government may use money to build or get a World Bank funding or EPC plus F approach, to get the port.
But George, I'm finding
people must work, be dedicated to that.
I have no problem. So there are consultants, there are engineers, there are worksmen, there are foremen, there are carpenters, there are masons, there are plumbers, there are steel benders, all of them who will work to make sure that the thing is constructed.
And that is not even happening.
Hold on. When they are done, there will be a head of human resource, there will be a marketing manager, there will be a CEO, there will be a director of this and that and that and that. We have not finished constructing the thing, but you are paying a CEO.
As to whether he's paid, I cannot speak to that. But there's a CEO, a board chair, which of the two?
He's appointed director. I mentioned his name. He has been there.
So I know there's somebody.
I doubt if he even knows Keta. I'm telling you, I doubt if the gentleman.
As to whether he's been paid,
this is an apology of a government.
We'll you can get into that. But I think it's a forward-looking thing to have a dedicated team looking at the Keta thing, and to say we don't care about that is worrying. Sitting here, my mother is an away from the Volta region. Kofi Jamasi is in the government. There are other people who are from the Volta region in the government.
George, let me ask you.
Who wouldn't want Lecha is from the Volta region.
George, let me ask you.
So they cannot sit down for government to ignore them. And last one.
George, I want to ask you a question.
Our votes in the Volta region has been increasing. It's moving from arithmetic progression to geometric progression.
You view development from the point of
George, that is very pathetic. George, I want to ask you a question. So you go for a loan to put up a factory, your personal factory.
Yeah.
This is not Nadmo factory.
Yeah.
Then you get the land, you get the consultants and the engineers to put up the building for you.
Yeah.
But even before they finish the building, you have employed a CEO of the factory that is not existent, and you are paying the. Would you do that? Would you pay the CEO?
I don't know the thinking behind that. Maybe the president wants the prioritization of that project. Okay, as to whether he's been paid is another.
Is that the best way
matter.
to protect the public?
But I can get somebody that I'm building this. Focus your attention. I may not call him a CEO, but he is my dedicated person to ensure that the factory project goes.
So you disagree with the president?
That's it. So no,
because he appointed him director. He appointed him. Can you be headmaster without a
director?
Yes,
is that
I
what
mean,
you're saying?
it's
yeah, because I was thinking there's a board that is
just like we have director
because they
for
had made the argument that why should there be a board or a CEO when the thing hasn't started?
There is nothing. There's a lot of chaos.
But I know plans,
Come on,
processes. No. I know processes are ongoing to get either a catapult.
For how long now?
Yeah, so don't worry
George,
about that.
George,
it will materialize soon. Don't worry.
This doesn't look good on government. If it's true that there's a non-existent entity and there's a CEO or a director who is being paid, who is drawing salaries more than a year, that will not look good on you. I mean, it will not look good on protecting the public purse.
It will depend on the reason.
But the government doesn't look good in anything.
And what he's doing, if he can show evidence of the responsibilities that he's been assigned to do and how far he's gone with that, that may look good for us. And ultimately, if the pot comes into existence, and I know he's going to come.
So we are doing what? So the salary is taken now will be what?
I don't know if
it's the same level with that of the director of the.
Are you sure he's being paid?
He's being paid. These are simple issues that you can verify.
That are not taking.
He's being paid. In fact, prior to the election, I raised this issue on a radio station in the Volta region. He came out and was trying to justify that. I'm telling you that the gentleman, I doubt if he even knows Keta.
Oh, how?
Maybe he's taking a down payment.
I doubt if he even knows Keta.
Anyway, maybe he's taking a down payment for work that he'll do in future. You may never know.
Which one is that?
Strange things happen under Akufo-Addo. Strange things.
Your side in Parliament is still not seeing eye to eye with government on the e-levy.
Yes.
Government has told you what they want to do with the money. They have told you that, look, if you don't let us collect this e-levy, we will be forced to go to IMF. And that won't look good for us because then that will mean conditionalities, job freeze, and all of that. So why won't you break your back a little for government to have a little resource to be able to solve the problems that you are enumerating?
Point number one, with or without the e-levy, there's still a freeze on public sector employment, and that is in the budget. Point number two, the government is creating a rather ridiculous perception that they need this e-levy so bad that with it comes to job creation and all of that. Johnny, in the history of this country, no government has had as much resources, revenue, as the Akufo-Addo government had. And yet, no government has borrowed as much as they have done.
It's not true.
No government in the history. Which government? You have borrowed in excess of 200 billion. You are targeting only 7 billion from this e-levy, and you are creating impression as though something that all the money you are getting from oil, from all your mineral resources and all of that cannot achieve. It is e-levy that is going to achieve it for you. Very ridiculous. Back to the main point, Johnny. The NDC as a party and the minority in parliament, our position is clear. We will not be party to any decision to impose hardship on the people of Ghana. Johnny, nobody taxes a mode of payment. Nobody, anywhere. Now, what they are trying to achieve with the e-levy is simply that if you, Johnny, as a staff of TV3, you are paid through a bank and you withdraw the money from the bank into your mobile money account, you pay charges. You withdraw and you're going to send to somebody like your mom. You pay charges and double taxation and all of that. That is it.
No.
The truth is that
Johnny, the truth is that
this government has run down the economy through corruption. Now I have a simple solution. I have a simple solution for them.
Some my little bite.
The Ghana Integrity Initiative, the CDD, and other credible institutions have estimated that we lose a minimum of $3 billion every year to corruption since 2017. This e-levy that they are seeking to raise amounts to just 1.1. Johnny,
you have it.
It amounts to just 1.1 million. It amounts to just 1.1 billion USD. So if the government is really looking for money to do the things that they are claiming to, the solution does not lie in imposing taxes on the already overburdened Ghanaians.
I hear you.
It lies in the president cutting down on his profligate expenditure, flying private, luxurious private jets.
Your mic
It lies
is
in
off.
reducing corruption.
Yeah, Johnny, he is talking about the presidency. And in 2016, the presidency of JM budgeted about 849 million for the year. The presidency.
How much you are
By the
budgeting
time they
billions?
finished, it was 3.2 billion they spent. 2016. Okay, these are facts. Then two,
That's
communication service tax. When it was coming, they made all the noise. When they got power in 2000, they increased it. Ghanaians, we are looking at rebuilding after the COVID devastation.
But you also
patriotically
increase
contribute.
communication service tax.
George, beyond 100
George, finally,
you contribute less than 2 CDs to support the cause of the rebuilding
you increase
agenda.
communication
That's what
service
we are
tax
doing.
to say you want to help fight cybercrime and to create jobs for the youth.
Yes,
Are you able to tell us how many jobs you have created from CST, how much you accrued, and how you have helped to fight cybercrime?
I don't have that data.
Okay.
But the truth is that if you Google, the data shows
We
under
should-
this
we should
government.
Google.
No, I'm saying no, I don't have that data. But if you Google, you get to know that under this government,
when is the-
youth
They
the
don't have-
unemployment
they have-
situation
they
is
have-
improving. It's better now.
Really?
Yes, it's better now than it
Okay.
it
Where
was
are you
in
getting your
2016.
somebody sent
Just
me.
Google that.
Somebody
That's
sent
reference from
George.
no.
Somebody sent me.
International
Somebody
Labour
sent me a message for you.
Organization.
He said the last time you were here, you said that one of the Agenda 111 hospitals had reached lintel level, but they want you to tell us where that hospital is.
I said, the work is going on.
But you said lintel level.
No.
Should I play the tape for you?
Don't be doing this.
Should I play the tape for you? Where?
Johnny, they just lie.
Where? Should I play the tape for you? Should I play the tape for you?
I don't have a
So
problem
mention
with
work is going on where?
So where is it?
Okay, work is going on.
Oh, Adam, please.
Okay.